That's
my
my
hair
favorite.
out.
I seriously love that. Like, I'm a nerd like that.
Yeah.
I love it.
I
I
appreciate,
love it.
I said this to you
They
yesterday.
hate it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they do in the moment, but I believe, at least,
I'm planting seeds.
yes, I was just going to say, they'll appreciate it later on. They will. Maybe not right in the second when they're sitting on the couch, like, rolling their eyes when they see that other teaching moment.
Well, I know why. Because there's no stress. There's no, like, what is a teenager? Like, I mean, I'm generalizing because there's teenagers that have brutal lives and they're complete victims and stuff like that. Our teenagers, though, are pretty well off.
Yeah.
And so there's not that stress in life to throw these teaching moments that have taken us. And like picture even our parents and everything, because I know my mom's listening. I'm pretty sure your mom listens a lot too. She actually comments quite a bit. So like I'm sure they and exactly when I'm struggling, who do I call? Call my, not the Ghostbusters. I call my mom.
Yeah, even now,
my mom would knock the Ghostbusters on their ass. I don't even, why even bother with them? I go to my mom.
Yeah,
right, because she's lived these you call them stress moments that could be anything
or whatever,
struggles, anything.
Yeah.
So like you're not gonna learn the lesson until you've been put into the struggle, because why else would you? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, a lot of people are smart and they read books, and that's fantastic, but you know, you're not gonna know exactly what it's like until you're in the moment.
And you know what I find too, like, as much as you and I have shared a lot of conversations on, you know, the going down, like when we're planning to have that sit down with our kids, and we do that more often than we can even count. When we know we're about to have somewhat of a difficult conversation with our kids, there's always a conversation that happens between us first. Yeah. Okay, so how is this going to look? And what are the points that we want to cover? And just sort of like reinforcing how we want that to go.
We have to be on the same page.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And what the outcome is going to be and stuff, or else it's then it's all for naught.
Right. I just find, though, when we get into these conversations, and not so much with you, because I think these sort of, I don't know if you want to call it motivational interviewing or whatever it is, that how we typically structure our family meetings, that like goes right out the door with me a lot of the times, because I simply haven't had that experience the same way you have, to have those conversations, to have those meetings. So but what I'm always curious to know is, my go-to is always the same. But where the hell did I learn that go-to? Where did I learn that behavior, to just go say to my kids, because I said so, which totally doesn't work. It never works. But I always just wonder,
there's three different categories, right? And here I am going on, like, I just remember this from school, but the authoritarian, right? So that's the authoritarian, and I shouldn't even brought it up because I can't remember the other two. So if you guys remember the other two, I could find it in 2 seconds, but it's just kind of the same as just all communication. There's like the aggressive, and then there's the passive, and then you want to be somewhere in the assertive thing. But yeah, I know that one's called the authoritarian. It's just because I said so. There's no reason behind it, and people are just doing it to conform rather than to learn.
Right.
And so the best is just to try to, but I mean, you can't compare you and I, because you have a whole different role, and I'm like way newer into this dynamic. You've been doing this for 16, 17 years.
But it's just interesting to me how I seem to have this go-to behavior that I drop into when I'm challenged. This just the same as kids do, when they're challenged.
Yeah.
Their go-to behavior, like I think every adult has that sort of go-to behavior, but I just don't know where that came from.